If you're overwhelmed and doing nothing, your brain might actually be trying to protect you. And the strange part is this: the more you care about doing things well, the more likely a freeze response shows up. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly why your brain shuts down under pressure, and a simple 5-minute reset that can bring it back online. Right now, while you're watching this, there is a running list somewhere in the back of your mind. Maybe it's that project you've been putting off for 2 weeks. Maybe it's the stack of unopened mail on your counter, the messages you've been ghosting, the goals you told yourself you'd start on Monday. And here's the thing nobody talks about. The bigger that list grows, the less you actually do. You know what needs to happen. You're fully aware. But instead of tackling any of it, you end up here, watching videos, refreshing your feed, reorganizing your desk for the 4th time this month. And then comes that familiar wave of guilt. You tell yourself you're just not disciplined enough, that other people somehow have it figured out. But what if the problem has nothing to do with discipline at all? What if your brain isn't failing you, but is actually running a program it believes is keeping you safe? And what if you could completely interrupt that program in 5 minutes or less? Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly why your brain freezes when the pressure mounts, and how to snap it back into gear with a simple 5-step reset you can use anywhere, anytime. No willpower required, no motivational speeches, just a clear understanding of what's actually going on up there and a practical tool to fix it. By the end of this, you'll never look at your unproductive moments the same way again. Let's talk about what's really happening when you're drowning in your to-do list, but somehow managing to accomplish nothing. Researchers have a name for this. It's called overwhelm paralysis, and it has everything to do with how your brain processes threat. Here's the best way to picture it. Imagine your browser with 47 tabs open. It slows down, freezes, sometimes crashes entirely. That's your brain when it's juggling too many competing tasks and responsibilities at once. The processing power gets maxed out, but here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a wild animal chasing you and an inbox full of unanswered emails. Studies show the brain processes social and task-related threats through many of the same neural pathways as physical danger, which means your unread messages can genuinely trigger a stress response. Mentally, both register as a threat, and when your brain senses threat, it does one of 3 things: fight, flee, or freeze. Since you can't exactly argue with your laundry pile or outrun your deadlines, freeze becomes the default. And the strange thing about freeze mode, it doesn't feel like panic. It feels like procrastination. Your internal system essentially says this is too much input, shutting down until conditions improve. And what does that shutdown look like in your daily life? Binge watching shows instead of sending that email. Deep cleaning your bathroom to avoid starting a difficult conversation. Scrolling for an hour when you have 30 minutes of actual work to do. Your brain isn't being lazy. It's running interference. It genuinely believes avoidance is protection. The brutal irony, though, is that every task you avoid grows heavier on that mental list, which creates more overwhelm, which triggers more avoidance. It's a perfect loop of paralysis, and most people have no idea they're even stuck in it. And once you see the loop clearly, it becomes much easier to step out of it. Here's something to really take in. This is not a you problem. Some of the highest achieving, most driven people on the planet experience this exact cycle. In fact, if you hold yourself to high standards and genuinely care about doing things well, you're actually more susceptible to it. Your brain is calibrated to notice the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And when that gap feels too wide, it panics. The self-criticism that usually follows, calling yourself lazy or weak or undisciplined, doesn't just feel bad. It actively makes the paralysis worse. Shame piles onto an already overloaded system and makes the freeze deeper. But here is the part that changes everything. Research consistently shows that it takes roughly 5 minutes to interrupt the stress response and bring your brain back online. 5 minutes is all it takes to calm your nervous system and regain clarity. Think of it like a snow globe. When it's been shaken, everything is swirling and you can't see anything clearly. But give it a short pause and everything settles. You can suddenly see the whole picture again. This 5-step reset works the same way. You're not solving every problem. You're just giving your system enough calm to start thinking clearly again. Let's go through each step right now. And step 3 is the one most people skip. But it's usually the one that actually breaks the freeze. And watch what happens after step 5. This is where momentum starts to become automatic instead of forced. Step 1 is simple, almost annoyingly simple. It's breathing, but there's science behind this. When you're overwhelmed, your breathing gets shallow and rapid without you even noticing. That breathing pattern sends a direct signal to your nervous system that danger is present. Deep, slow breathing sends the exact opposite signal. It tells your body you are safe right now. So for just 1 to 2 minutes, breathe in slowly through your nose and out slowly through your mouth. Focus only on the physical sensation of it, the cool air coming in, the warmth going out, nothing else. You'll feel your heart rate drop and your shoulders soften. You haven't fixed a single item on your list yet, but you've created a small clearing in the mental storm. That clearing is everything. Step 2 is acknowledgement. This is where most people rush past what actually matters. When we're buried in stress, we tend to skip past what we're actually feeling and jump straight to judgment. But naming your emotions out loud, or even just in your head, has a measurable calming effect on the brain. So ask yourself honestly, what am I feeling right now? Maybe it's frustrated and scattered. Maybe it's drained and anxious. Whatever comes up, say it without judgment. There's a massive difference between thinking I'm so lazy and thinking I'm feeling overwhelmed, and that's making it hard to function. One is an identity label, the other is just information. Once you've named the feeling, consider doing one tiny thing that addresses it. Feeling disconnected? Send one message to someone you care about. Feeling exhausted? Make a warm drink or put on one song that always lifts your mood. These micro moments of self-compassion aren't indulgences. They're data inputs that tell your nervous system it's safe to move forward. They're the beginning of restoring connection with yourself, and that connection builds. Step 3. Write and let go. This is the turning point. So much of overwhelm comes from trying to hold everything in your head simultaneously. Every task, worry, and random thought is competing for mental bandwidth. Psychologists have studied this. A study by Roy Baumeister found that unfinished tasks keep occupying mental bandwidth until you write them down or make a plan. So grab whatever you have nearby, paper, a notes app, anything, and spend 2 to 3 minutes writing down everything that's floating around in your mind. Everything. Bills, work tasks, that thing you said last Tuesday that's still bothering you, the gym bag you haven't unpacked. Don't organize, Don't prioritize, just dump it all out as fast as you can. When it's on paper, it's no longer circling in your mental processor, draining your energy. Most people feel genuine relief the moment they do this. And here's a bonus discovery. When you actually look at the list, it's never infinite. It might be 15 things or 20 things. But it's not the endless, overwhelming void it felt like inside your head. Now we shift from calming to clarity. Step 4 is triage. Look at your list and now ask one specific question. What actually needs to happen today? Not this week, not eventually. Today. Put a mark next to 2 to 5 things that have real stakes attached to them right now. What actually has a deadline? What will genuinely cause a problem if it doesn't get done? Everything else gets mentally filed under later, and you give yourself full permission to ignore those items for now. This step is critical because one of the main reasons overwhelm leads to paralysis is that your brain treats everything as equally urgent. When every item feels like a 5-alarm emergency, the system locks up. Triaging tells your brain exactly where to point its energy. You go from 100 fires to 3 specific ones, and 3 fires are manageable. Step 5. This is where the freeze actually breaks, but you're going to do it in the smallest possible way. Look at your prioritized list and pick one thing, not the hardest thing, not the most important thing, the smallest thing you can do right now that moves any of it forward, even slightly. If you have a report to write, open the document and type the title. If your kitchen is overwhelming you, clear one single counter. If your inbox is terrifying, reply to one easy email. The task should feel almost embarrassingly small. That's intentional. When your brain is in freeze mode, it needs evidence that action is possible. One tiny completed task delivers that evidence. You'll feel a small but real lift in energy after finishing even the most minor thing. That lift is momentum beginning to build. Acknowledge it. You did something. That matters. From there, the next small step becomes more accessible, and then the one after that. Notice how different your body feels right now compared to the beginning of this video. So here's the full picture. 5 minutes. Breathe to calm your system. Name what you're feeling to connect with yourself. Dump everything out of your head onto paper. Identify what truly matters today. Then take one microscopically small action to break the freeze. That's it. That's the whole system. And the most important thing I want you to take away from this isn't the steps themselves. It's the reframe. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Give yourself a break. Your brain is working exactly as designed. Overwhelm paralysis is a signal, not a character flaw. It means your system needs a reboot, not a lecture. When you notice it happening, treat yourself the way you'd treat a friend who was struggling. With patience, with strategy, and with kindness. The self-talk you use in those moments shapes whether you sink deeper or start moving again. If you want to build on this, try doing a 5-minute reset proactively before the overwhelm even peaks. Set a reminder if you need to. You already have everything you need to break this cycle. Take that one tiny step. Not because you should, but because you can. If you're wanting to go further with this work, you'll find resources in the description. They're there to support your process, not overwhelm it. And if this kind of inner exploration resonates with you, you're in the right place. We'll see you in the next video.